Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and this is my tips and tricks guide for Kid Goku GT in Dragon Ball FighterZ. So as always in these kind of guides, we're going to be going over the basic moveset first and foremost, and then after that we're going to be talking about some of the specifics here. I want to talk about power pole stuff. If you've seen any Kid Goku stuff at all, at the point you've probably seen a lot of Spirit Bomb stuff, so we're going to cover some setups for that. We're going to talk about some just plain old gimmicks, pressure, and all that kind of stuff. So without any further ado, let's get right to it. So our first move here is the Dragon Flurry Fist, and as always comes in light, medium, and EX versions, heavy. And the main use of this move overall is going to be in your combos. One of the biggest things about it is the medium version in particular does a bit of a wall bounce, and it's very key for a lot of corner combos, be it in the air or otherwise. As you can see here, you can keep getting a follow-up after it. So a lot of your corner combos are going to be using specifically the medium version of Dragon Flurry Fist. The light version is, for the most part, going to be used in, say, like certain Spirit Bomb combos with a Dragon Rush or something like that, just because it's quick. The one thing I do want to note here, the EX version travels forward pretty quick. So say someone does something like an incomplete Kamehameha into Vanish, you know, they're very kind of just... they're chomping at the bit to get you, right? It is fast enough to actually get a punish. So the enemy is set to just block afterwards. You see they're just walking backwards to block. So if you can get them in this situation here, you gotta be a little quick though, as you can see there. Because if you're not a little quick, you're gonna not get it, but it can be a punish. So in certain situations where you get the reflect on and the reflect pushes people away. It could be like, say, reflect like a rebellion spear, or just some sort of forward advancing move. You actually might be able to get a punish in certain situations depending on the timing of the reflect, just because how wicked fast this move comes out. But once again, for the most part, it's going to be mostly combo fodder. Next up, we have the Dragon Flash Fist, and yes, I know it's a very similar name. So that is quarter circle back, light, medium, and heavy. And just like the Dragon Flurry Fist, you can do all these in the air as well. So this is, generally speaking, going to be two things to you. It's going to be your combo ender in a lot of combos. Not all of them, but a lot of combos going to be your combo ender. And also, it's super important to his pressure, which we'll talk about later in the video. Coming up next for the specials, quarter circle forward and S, is the plain old Kamehameha, and this is Arrow K as well. And the ground version's just a little bit different than everyone else. So first up and foremost, you might notice the angle's a little bit different than, you know, how a lot of characters might do it, right? So it is upwards, and the hitbox is pretty impressive. You can hit people from a fair little bit away, and you might notice he's taking just a little bit of a step forward every time you do it. So if you hold the button, he'll actually run forward with it, and whenever you release the button is when he'll just stop and release the Kamehameha. You can also move backwards with it, as you can see there. So you can find some value in just holding onto it just a little bit and just seeing what's going to happen. Now, the air version as well. Man, it's just got such a fantastic angle. So not many characters can angle it downwards, like say Super Saiyan Goku there we go, can. But as you can see, his angle's a lot more steep. From that exact distance, Kid Goku can easily connect. And even honestly from full screen, Kid Goku can easily connect, right? So this has a lot of value as like a pressure tool. And of course, just with any beam, if you can hit confirm, you know, get to a little combo, which of course I dropped because I'm explaining it to you, but you get the idea, right? But yeah, very serviceable ground beam here with an interesting angle. The fact that you can walk with it might not mean the most in the end, but it's still interesting. And the air version, just fantastic. Utterly dominates the entirety of the screen. So our final special move here is the reverse Kamehameha, and that's quarter circle back and S, and you can see here he just kind of flings himself as a living projectile, and this is one of the more unique moves in the game because you can just kind of go crazy with it, as you can see here. Like, yeah, you can do this 2 additional times past the first one. So if you hit the button here, the S button that is specifically, right after you do it, if you hit it neutral, you'll do right into a Kamehameha. But if you choose a direction, be it up, forward, down, forward, or up, back, down, back, you will go in that direction. You can't go straight up or straight down, but in any of those directions, you can do it. Now, on both sides of it, if he shoots the blast behind him, he'll smack you with his noggin. And if you use the actual blast that propels them forward, you can hit them with that as well. And if you've seen any amount of combo videos or whatever in the game here for Kid Goku at all, you've probably seen something like this. because going to the Spirit Bomb setup, this is an incredibly important move, but also has a lot of uses in other combo stuff and other just plain tomfoolery for mix-ups and all that kind of stuff. So moving on to his supers, he has one level 1 and 2 level 3s. Level 1, it's kind of a stock beam super. It's very quick, serviceable. Now the one thing here is, if you have a character on your team that is dead, the move will actually be powered up, as you can see right there. So instead of going Super Saiyan 1, he'll go Super Saiyan 3, and he does roughly about 10% more damage. So it's not the end of the world, but hey, more damage is more damage. On to the level 3, kind of much the same deal here. It's kind of a short range level 3. It's mostly going to be a combo ender. And it does this little animation, and it's all well and good. And when you do the powered up version, as you can see here, and I'm sure you've probably seen all the hubbub about it in like trailers and all that kind of stuff, turn Super Saiyan 4, and yeah, he'll do more damage yet again. So this is basically, for the most part, a strictly better version. Even leaves you roughly the same distance for terms of pressure and all that kind of stuff. It's just basically, when you're down a character, hey, he does more damage. So Super Saiyan 4 got all the, love and attention and press and all that kind of stuff, but the reason you're picking this character, at least one of the reasons, is the Spirit Bomb. So his Spirit Bomb is stupid good. It's very easy to combo into it by himself, does a lot of good damage, has a lot of pressure afterwards. You can combo afterwards. For example here, Kid Goku is the only other character I can think of off the top of my head besides Broly. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's the only other character besides Broly that can burn all 7 bars by himself. So there you go, that's all 7 bars. Now, how often is this going to happen in a real match? Yeah, probably close to never, honestly. But, off a scaling starter, that's a fair chunk, a little bit of damage. So let's talk power pole real quick here. Power pole, you just hit S, and that's all there is to it, right? So first and foremost, the range is positively absurd. It's completely safe on block, even from point blank. It's only -5 point blank on block, so, alone the safety of being this far away, right? If you get a hit, easy enough conversion, maybe not the most damage in the world, but still, it is something, right? One thing I want to show you here, so the hitboxes are now out for Kid Goku, and the air version as well. The air version hitbox is something else, to say the least. One of the least, in this early stage of the character's release, in my opinion, big parts of the game plan you want to go is just fish. It's fairly low risk, especially if you have like any kind of assist to back you up here. Just toss it out and then just go and do whatevs. It's pretty much low risk and I'd say medium reward, and that's very good. Now on top of this, it also has modes, right? It's not just the big old stick, which is already good enough as it stands. You also have the down S stuff here. So down S in the air is the pogo, very similar to Rolento in Street Fighter 4 if you ever played that. And down S on the ground is the pole vault. So these are very fun in terms of pressure. So you can kind of hit people with the pogo left or right, and they kind of have to guess. You're gonna need like certain blocks on setup skill already, all that kind of stuff, right? But this is a very good way to kind of just get it going. Now, one thing here, it's a little bit of misconceptions. People saying that you can't really follow this up. You can actually cancel the pogo into the down H in the air. Now, it is not a natural combo, as you can see here. It is not a natural combo, but it is something besides just, hitting a button or dashing in afterwards or something like that, right? It is a direct follow-up you can do that if someone's trying to like down heavy you or something, trying to chase down that air dash, well, then you can just kind of bump them on the noggin from there. So just keep it in mind. The ground pole vault here, the one launches you forward, just so you know, you actually have a little bit of control over the air movement. If you hold back while doing it, he'll just kind of stay in place. So say we have the enemy here and they're just going to block everything, right? And just assume I'm doing like some sort of super sick assist block stun with it. So do and all that kind of stuff. And then we pogo, and we can just stay directly on top of them. So at that point, if we call an assist here, and we can kind of just keep pressuring on the way down, or just land, or anything, you know, your mind can so desire. And of course, on the flip here, we can just pogo over on the other end. Now, this is not as valuable mid-screen, but you can, like, kind of double reverse cross-up, as you can see here. My timing is not the best at this, but yeah, there we go. If you wait a little bit, you can kind of hit on the other side. Once again, please use an assist to keep the block stun going, otherwise they're just going to smack you out of the air for free. But yeah, it kind of gives some very different and fun avenues for pressure. So now let's talk the Spirit Bomb here. So when you're setting up the Spirit Bomb, the idea is you want some sort of Oki, you want some sort of set play afterwards. Yes, you can combo after it, but if you combo after it, you're not necessarily going to get any kind of, you know, mix afterwards, right? So the two most common angles, at least in my testing, that you're going to get the Spirit Bomb from are off of whatever combo into an assist into the auto combo. And from the auto combo, you hit them with the Spirit Bomb and then go from there. And then, you know, you have all this time to do whatever, right? Because it is level 3 and they're going to be stuck on the ground. Or you do it from higher up in the air. So this, for the most part, yes, there is a couple frames differential, but for the most part, everything's going to work the same way except for one example I'm going to show you. Now, also, just real quick here, while you're doing that, while you're in the air combo, vanish before that finishes. It just makes things a lot easier. You'll lose like a couple points of damage, but trust me, it'll make the successive reverse Kamehamehas much easier to hit. So first and foremost, to get our timing here, after the Spirit Bomb, we're going to be jamming on H, just so we do the air kick. And the reason we're doing the air kick is just purely as a timing measure, and so we can't accidentally screw ourselves over doing something else in the air, as the H will just kind of take over, and then we can't do anything else. And as we land, we're going to be doing down M. So the down M moves us ever so slightly forward, and this is kind of key for the positioning in our setups here. Now, you're not going to be able to see yourself. That is kind of one of the issues here. So when you're doing this, and sorry for it here. So when you're doing this, that little one icon, you're going to have to look at it, and you're going to have to see it jut forward, and that's when you know you've done your down M. And after that little jut forward is then what we can get to the meat of the setup. So now here for our first setup, we're going to do as we described here. So we're going to land, do down M. And as we jump forward, we're just going to do down M again, and it's going to hit super, super, super meaty and just crush anything in this way here. So no vanish, no buttons, no nothing, but it is not a safe jump. Just so you know, it is not a safe jump. So if they do wake up level 3, you're going to get smacked. Now, if you are in the higher up version of the combo, it also still works, but it comes much more strict on the frames. So in that regard, you might want to just do stand M instead. And yeah, I know it's not low, but it'll still beat anything they try to hit other than wake up level 3. So if you're higher up here, if you're not too sure in your timing, do stand M instead of down M. Now, next up here. So same idea. We're just going to land, do down M. And right before you land, you do an air dash and do heavy, and it will be a cross-up. So it'll be cross-up heavy. So in essence, kind of right there, we kind of have a little bit of a left-right mix. Now also another layer. So just take the tiniest step forward, and then just neutral jump as you did before. And then your jumping H will hit super, super meaty, and this is a safe jump, just so you know. Also, the previous jump is also safe jump. Usually they'll make the super not autocorrect, so they'll do a level 3, and it'll just whiff, and then you can punch them freely. And both these two setups, high or low in the air when you do your Spirit Bomb, it doesn't really matter. They both work exactly the same. And of course, with the step forward jump version, since it is a safe jump and it hits super meaty, you can then establish afterwards, you know, empty jump into light, you know, down light, and then of course right before hit also then another air dash and all that kind of stuff to throw up the timing. So that's kind of like the old classic Bardock style mix. So yeah, you get a lot of stuff off the Spirit Bomb. So yeah, you can combo afterwards, and if you can kill a character, hey, go for it, right? Like, you know, don't try to be a mix-up monster if you have a potential kill on the table, right? But between these setups here, and this is just one setup of many, many, many potential layers. This is just what I know. it's a very strong set play machine to say the least. Now let's show you some dumb gimmicks here. So for Kid Goku, if you do a block string and all that kind of stuff, you can do this into an assist call and keep pressuring afterwards. And we'll talk a little bit about that in the next segment here. But if you do specifically down heavy here during your block string, and then cancel to the medium version of your Dragon Flurry here, what's going to happen is you're going to go clear over their head. And now, we're tagging a taller character here, just so you can see it's not happening on the dwarf here. And see here, going clear over their head and switching sides. Now, if you're a smart little cookie, you might remember the rule, assists cannot cross up. It doesn't matter if they're left-righting you all day with the assists, assists can't cross up. You only ever have to block the direction of the character, right? The main character that's on point. But if you main character is on point, switches sides real quick, you still have to block the assist on the side the character is now on, which can lead to some situations like this. And see there, Bardock hit the other side. Generally using a faster assist is kind of better for this kind of stuff here. So we're just doing down heavy into quarter circle back medium, and then calling the assist and just comboing out from there. So that's me crouch blocking here. Of course, I'm a very small character. So if I use a more standard side character, see here, same deal. Now some characters, it might get a little weird. So say here after the down medium, I'm just going to stand block this stuff, right? I still get hit cross up. In fact, much quicker than before. So it still has value in a cross up in that kind of way too. It's very tricky stuff. Now, I'll tell you right now, standing the very large characters, that's not going to work. Because Broly is just simply too much to cross over. But yeah, it's a very dirty little gimmick. It's a very cheap little gimmick. And it's not going to be reliable if you keep using it against a smart player. But everyone's going to fall for it once. So, just keep it in the repertoire. So now I want to show you one of the cornerstones of his pressure game here. And I think this is one of the most important parts of his game plan. You really should build the team in regards to this. So quarter circle back light here. It'll keep foe and block stun, and you kind of bounce off and then land, right? And what we want to do here is we want to build a block string with that in mind, calling an assist on the bounce back and then keeping the pressure afterwards. And we'll have the dummy set here to vanish out as soon as they possibly can. So you can see we just had a kind of rock solid block string there. And that was all on the base of just our basic setup. So the quarter circle back light just kind of dumps us so close we can just get a down light afterwards. Now, I've seen a little bit of misconceptions about this kind of stuff and how it can hit certain characters. So before you do your quarter circle back light, you want to do down heavy first and then go into it. And it'll just lead with much better positioning. Because if we did the exact same setup here against Bardock here without that down heavy, what's going to happen is this. Our down light just simply wouldn't reach in time, right? So if we use down heavy and then quarter circle forward, quarter circle back light, then we will be able to reach with our down light. But if we don't, we're going to be just out of range. So please use the down heavy version, and it's basically strictly superior. And as you can see, it was a true block string the whole time, right? And of course, from then, once you establish the light, you can do all sorts of fancy fun stuff here. Now, unfortunately, the one thing the down heavy version won't let you do, even though it's always better spacing as far as the down light's concerned, it won't let you air dash afterwards. Only the raw version will. So if you do something like this here, and you do the raw stand heavy into it, while the spacing for the down light might be as awesome, you will be able to air dash after it, unlike, say, the down heavy, which is kind of a big deal too. You're going to have to mix some stuff up here, don't be predictable. And keep in mind too, down M will reach just fine from that range as well. It'll be a little slower and a little more reactable. And it won't be as airtight versus, like, say, a Vanish or something. But it's just multiple layers here, and it's very important pressure string, so just keep it all in mind. Another very strong form of pressure is just using a block string into your down S and using the pogo and hold back just to keep level with the enemy. And what it does here is, once again, we have a situation where the enemy set the vanish right away. It will leave a little bit of a gap. It's a gap that is a safe jumpable gap, so if they match level 3, you're going to be safe. But if they try to match vanish, what it is just going to be just a little bit of a gap, just to it'll allow them to start the vanish, but not enough to actually complete it, and then you'll counter hit them out of it. and then we get a full combo, as you can see right there, right? So all you have to do is just do your pogo hold back and just slightly delay that jumping heavy, and you will just smack them out. So if they're doing anything other than holding block, if they're mashing anything, you're going to smack them real fierce. Nice little counter hit into your full corner combo. And if they're a good boy and standing still, then hey, well, you still got your pressure, right? But yeah, it's a really strong thing. Once again, it's a safe jump as well. So it's a really handy form of pressure too. It's not as, you know, kind of high-low mix heavy as the other one. But if you know they just don't want to accept it and they're just mashing vanish or whatever, and they just don't want to deal with it, this is a really good way to kind of trick them out. Now, as for Kid Goku, just in team positioning wise, you know, is he a point? Is he an anchor? Is he a mid? What should he be? And this is one I feel is going to take a little time to hash out, honestly. My initial impression in this fairly early stage, as the time I'm making this video of the character's life, he kind of screams mid to me. One, his assist, it's pretty good. Like, even though it's angled upward, as you can see here, like, it certainly doesn't struggle from hitting from most distances. So from even roughly around here, it's just fine. So it's not really like, you know, straight up in the air and can't work in neutral, right? And from far away, you know, hey, this is Dragon Ball. People are going to be jumping around and can totally catch people in the air, right? Is it as universally useful as, you know, say, Super Saiyan Goku and Goku Black Beam? No, it isn't, right? It doesn't have the wall bounce either, which is really good for combos, but still. Higher than average block stun by just a little bit. Startups are pretty decent here. So the assist-wise, it's a good assist to back up anyone who is on point, I think. And more to the point, for mid, I do find, like, once again, he does have some character-specific settings here for, you know, rewarding you for having a character down on your team, which is definitely something a mid can take more use of than the point, right, obviously. But I just think he's a solid all-rounder here. He can do well by himself, but he definitely likes assists, as, you know, we kind of went over in multiple other parts of the video. He definitely likes his assists, but neither do I think he's, like, totally dependent on them. You know, if he doesn't have assists, he's not going to flounder, per se. But yeah, just all things being equal, he just kind of screams mid to me. Maybe some people can run him with point some success. I don't think he's the best as an anchor, though. Although, once again, I don't think he's rotten as an anchor. He's not like an all-or-nothing character like Broly, right, where he has to be a very specific part of the team. He definitely has the tools to compete at every part of the screen. But all things being equal, an assist would be nice, I suppose. But yeah, if you had to ask me, my initial impression is put him on as the mid in the team. And that's the end of the guide as it currently stands. So I feel this character has a lot of potential, and there's going to be so many crazy, you know, setups, set play, Oki, whatever you can think of. There's going to be so much more to be discovered in the future that, you know, currently as of this time, making this video, this guy's just not going to be able to cover because it isn't discovered yet, right? I feel this character is an incredibly strong character, and honestly, I think he's already, in this early stage, one of the best characters in the game. Maybe I'll be proven wrong and eat dirt on that one in the future. I don't know, but man, just between his pressure is really good, his combo structure is really good, his Oki is really good. The fact he can, like, easily bully people from a ridiculous range that a lot of characters can't really contest without, you know, trying to thread the needle, right? Good assist, all that kind of stuff. Man, he's just a good character. So yeah, in that regard, I hope this video taught you anything about the character and hope you got some use out of it, because he's a little dynamo to say the least. Anyways, that's it for this video, so thank you very much for watching. I hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball.